Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Madeline. I create knitting content here on YouTube. So today's video is part 4 in the series of how I knit my socks. And in this video I'm going to be showing you the toe decreases as well as the Kitchener stitch. I hope you enjoy. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe down below and also give this video a like if you enjoyed it. The full written pattern is available down below. Compared to the other complicated parts of doing 2 at a time socks, like casting on or doing the heels, the toe decreases are really quite easy. I've left myself 2 inches of room at the top of either side to do my decreases on. And the numbers I like to get from are, I basically have 32 on either needle, so 64 total, and I like to go from the 32 down to about 12. So that means I'll have 24 stitches total on each sock. How I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna basically just have one decrease row, and I'm just gonna decrease first at a slower rate, and then I'm gonna get faster as I go up the toe. So first I'll just show you my decrease row, or my decrease round really, because we're gonna decrease on the front side of the sock, turn or work, decrease on the back side of each sock. So that's one decrease round. And then I'm gonna knit rounds intervals in between them. So first, just showing what one decrease round looks like. I'm just gonna knit the first stitch. Then I'm gonna do a slip, slip, knit. And now you have 2 choices here. You can just knit across, or if you have the patterning on the top of your sock, I like to actually work in pattern until I have 3 stitches remaining. So I'm just gonna follow along, reading my knitting from right below it. Now I have 3 stitches remaining, so I'm going to do a knit 2 together, and then knit the final stitch. Slide that sock to the side, and now I'm going to do that exact same thing across the front side of my second sock. Now I'm going to turn my work, reposition myself for magic loop, and now I just want to do those same decrease stitches. So knit 1, slip, slip, knit, knit across until 3 stitches remain, knit 2 together, knit 1, and then do the same thing on the back side of the other sock. Now I finished going across the back side, decreasing on each sock. And that whole total round is my first decrease round. So now, like I was saying before, I want to decrease at 2 different intervals. So first, for a total of 5 times, I'm gonna do 1 decrease round and then 2 full knit rounds. And I'm gonna repeat those 3 rows a total of 5 times. Then after that, I'm gonna do 1 decrease round followed by 1 knit round. And I'm gonna do that a total of 4 times. Then the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 1 more decrease round. Then I should be down to my 12 stitches on either needle, 24 stitches total for each sock, and that way I can start my Kitchener stitch. So each of those decrease rounds and knit rounds intervals will be written out really clearly in the pattern, so if you want to see the written version, just make sure to check down in the description box below. So I'm going to continue doing my knit rounds and decrease rounds, and I'll catch back up with you once I'm ready to start the Kitchener stitch. All I have left now are my 12 stitches on each needle, so I'm ready to begin the Kitchener stitch. So I want to cut my yarn on each sock, and for this one you don't actually need that much yarn because there aren't too many stitches, so I'm just going to leave myself, I'm going to say about 18 inches, just because I always like to overestimate. And now I want to use my tapestry needle. I'm going to thread my tapestry needle with this tail from the first sock. And I'm going to go across and Kitchener stitch off this first sock, and then repeat the same steps on the second sock. So to do Kitchener stitch, I'm going to first make sure my yarn is coming out in between the needles. Then I'm going to slip my tapestry needle through the first stitch on the front needle as if to purl. Leave that one on the needle. Then I'm going to go underneath my 2 needles to the first stitch on the back needle as if I'm going to knit. Slide my yarn through. And you want to make sure again that it doesn't go over that needle, so you don't want any extra loops. So I just went through the first stitch on the back needle as if to knit. And I left both those stitches on. So those are the 2 setup stitches for Kitchener stitch. And now I'm going to begin the 4-stitch repeat. So the 4-stitch repeat is go into the first stitch on the front needle as if to knit. Slide that stitch off the needle. Go onto the new first stitch on the front needle as if to purl. Leave that stitch on the needle. Go into the first stitch on the back needle as if to purl. Slide that first stitch on the back needle off then. Now step 4 is to go into the new first stitch on the back needle as if to knit. So that's the 4-stitch repeat, and you're going to continue going all the way across. Now I'm just going to put those Kitchener stitch first 2 setup stitches and then the 4-stitch repeat up on the screen. That way you can follow along as you're going across your socks. Then I'll come back and show you what my finished socks look like. Here are my 2 finished socks. I just have to wash them now. So how I do that is I just wash them in some cool water with some wool wash. Then I just roll them up in a towel, and then finally I lay them flat to dry. And I lay them exactly how they look right now. So basically when you knit the magic loop, it's hard to do this with one hand, but they're gonna basically have like the heel on one side and the front on the other. So I divide them the opposite way. So that basically you get the side profile of the sock, and then I just lay them flat to dry. And to show you how much yarn I have left over, so these are my 2 remaining things of yarn. So if I put those on the scale, I have 35 grams left over, and I started with about 105. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.